A very good day to all. I trust this message finds you well. And as always, I will kindly have to remind you that you have to subscribe, not for my sake, but for yours, so that you don't miss out on anything insightful, anything which could be beneficial to your life experience. You never know. And with that being said, I intend to keep this episode as concise as possible. And so I will be getting straight to the point. I'm first going to outline 3 things which I think, which I believe, which I feel deep in my bones that are most definitely worth consideration. More particularly if you are still living out your youthful years or years of youth. But the factors which I'm about to mention are universal, so they will apply to just about anyone, but more particularly to the youth. And so the first consideration is this: there can never be growth without accountability, which is something that we often run away from. We are not willing to do what's right, even though we may know better. And so the way I define accountability is the ability to account for one's decisions. Being real with oneself. In fact, you don't even have to be real with the self, because the self is real. The self is the feeling of discontent that you get from the way that you go about living your life or living out your experiences life. That feeling like you are not doing enough, it's because you are misaligned. That's not how life is supposed to feel. Life is supposed to be a pleasant experience. Even if you are faced with situations that on the outside don't look pleasant. So yes, accountability is the catalyst of growth. The second consideration: if you're good to life, life will be good to you. And when I say life, I'm not talking about the events that are played out as a reflection of collective, individuals. Not the effects which are a byproduct of the causes that we cause as individuals. When I say life, I'm referring to you as being, because you are life, right? You are alive. So you are life. So if you are good to life, then life will be good to you. That's to say, you will feel good. You will feel, at least, perhaps I should use the word positive about everything that you go through, because that's the paradigm that you've adopted, that you've embodied, being good, irrespective of what happens outside of you or what is said by who. Those things won't even matter. They won't register. They will just be a part of the life experience, which will ultimately lead to your evolution, because the purpose of experience is to evolve within being as being. And you are more likely to see that, to appreciate that, to acknowledge that, and to spread that if you are good to life as yourself, because you cannot give what you're not. So if you are harmful towards yourself, if you do things which are harmful to you, then you will be passing on that harm to others. It's basic math, really. 1 + 1 is 2. It was never 11. And the third consideration, the most important one, especially for the youth, for my peers. It feels weird saying that for some weird reason. I tend to feel as though I'm way beyond my years, which is probably the case. And it's probably happening for a reason. And all of this is probably happening for a reason. I probably wrote this book for a reason. Probably. Maybe you are the one who was to find out what that reason was. But yes, the third consideration is this. Just because something feels subjectively good doesn't mean it's good for your overall well-being. Underline the word overall and subjective. Because what feels good for one might spell disaster for the other. But as far as well-being is concerned, what's truly good will be good for everyone. What's good for one life will be good for all life. Here's a typical example. Food, water. You drink water. We all need to drink water. That's the bare minimum. And so examples of what might be feeling good because you define it as such is, okay, the most typical one, which is popping up right now for some weird reason, sex. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, especially for us youth, we overindulge in that shit now more than ever because there's so much convenience for us. We have phones, we can hook up with anyone, anytime. You know, it's fun. We can create illusions of options. And because we create those illusions, they materialize. That's the power which is innate in the potential, which is inherent within us as life. In fact, I'd say potential is life, or at least the source of it. And your faith is the connection. That's if you do embrace faith. Is the connection to you as life, as being. That's how you feel connected. That's how you know that you are alive. You have to trust in the unseen. And so yes, what feels good for you might not be good for you. Take crack smokers, for instance. Or this drug, which is found in my country, called nyaupe. I'm sure it feels pretty good to those guys, but is it good for them? I mean, the average folk, and by that I'm referring to the person who doesn't smoke nyaupe, might look at the person who does smoke nyaupe with disdain, because they recognize the fact that what they do is not good for life, right? And yet the very same person is doing things which are not perhaps as lethal as, doing drugs, but they are nonetheless limiting one through attachment, like overindulgence of sex. You keep wanting more, you become a slave to it. And that's when you know that something is not good for you. When you get to the point of becoming dependent on it. You use it as a crutch through life, and without it, you feel as though something is missing. Yeah, something is missing. In your mind. Or the fact that you have so many things in your mind makes you feel like something is missing. What's missing is contentment, wholeness, which you can only find within being by going within. How do you go within? Well, you start by being accountable. That's the starting point, and the rest will just unfold. You have to recognize, acknowledge the fact that you are alive, which is pure intelligence. That inner voice that you tend to run away from through endless distractions. It knows what you need to be doing, how you need to be, but you don't listen to it because the truth hurts, right? You try by all means to run away from truth. That's probably why this video might unsettle you, which is good. If it triggers you, then it means that I'm doing something which is working, which is worthwhile. I'm beyond petty wants. I'm not even going to refer to the things that we think we need as needs within a societal context, because all of those things are a hindrance to us living life, embracing life on a collective level. Hence we have gossipers, people who talk ill of other people because they have listeners. And how do you feel as a listener of negativity? Or what do you expect you're going to feel? Obviously, that's gonna affect your life experience. We believe that life is a certain way. And because most of us think the same way, life will seem that way. Which is bullshit that must come to an end eventually, because it will. And I'd say rather do it on your own terms than it happening to you. You will feel like it's happening to you, because life is intelligence, and it will get fed up eventually and force you out of your comfort zone, which is the ignorance of bliss, which you've come to identify with. I say, over with that. Off with the head, so that life can take root. Looking at the time, with that being said, beautiful friends, love and light. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that it grows, so that we all grow. I mean, come on.